Do that. There we go. Yay. Okay, so as everybody kind of just bounces in, let's just start with our weekly gratitudes because it's 10 o'clock on the nose. Yep, here they come. And so they'll just be piling in. But while they come in, then let's share like what we think we're grateful for.
I'll go. I am super grateful for my family. We got to take my dad to a Diamondback game this weekend, and that was a lot of fun. It was his first one, and he's had a rough year. He's been dealing with some cancer stuff, so it was nice to get him out of the house and, enjoy some family time together. And so that was a lot of fun yesterday. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. I love it. Well, I'm grateful I had a week in the ocean, and that's always my super happy place. And so literally got up in every single morning and just walked out the door and down the path to the water, played in the water, come back and get myself together and go somewhere else to go to another beach. Our favorite day we spent, I think we went to 6 beaches. We just kind of beach hopped and we jumped in because I wanted to explore all these different coves. And so we had a really great time. So I feel very restored and rested. It was really one of those vacations where it wasn't hard pressing the whole time because you want to make sure you see everything. It was more just actual relaxation and fun. So I'm super grateful for that. It's nice. I haven't had that feeling where you feel rested and restored in a long time. So now I remember what it feels like. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. So super grateful for that.
I'm thankful that Netflix specials on cruises are not true, or doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. I was fortunate enough to be able to go on a cruise and no one fell over. Nobody got sick. And my significant other checked, I think, 24 times to make sure that the original cruise name was not the Poop Cruise, whatever that original signage was for it. So
well, I'm glad you're healthy and safe.
Yes, just because you see it on Netflix doesn't mean it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, that's a whole show now, the Poop Cruise.
Yes.
Oh, that's disgusting. Melissa, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful for my husband actually reconnecting with Jeff so I can meet all of you lovely faces and get to know you all.
Awesome. It's fun. Anybody else have anything you're thankful for that you want to share today? What's going on here?
Kimberly, I'll jump in. Good morning, everybody. Kimberly, I'm grateful for you.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
I had an agent that was coming on to Real Broker a couple weeks ago. And I was talking to her and I wanted to put her together with you to have a Zoom or a 3-way call. And I went to your Calendly schedule and you were booked for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'd sure like to get with you a little sooner. So I texted you, and of course you responded right away. And then we did a group call with her the next day or two later, and it turned out you were at the beach, and so was I.
That's
Remember?
Right. Yep.
So now I know why your calendar was booked, which was great. But thank you so much for taking time out of your vacation to to chat with us for 20 or 30 minutes. Helped tremendously.
Awesome. Well, here's the good news. If you would have sent me an email, you probably still wouldn't have heard back from me. So you're
Right.
wise to text.
We all need our beach time, especially in August, right?
Well, I just mean in general, I hardly read my emails. So I always tell people, if you're going to send me an email, send me a text to tell me you sent me an email, and then I'll check my email. And I feel like email is worse for me than snail mail. Like I already hate snail mail. Now I kind of loathe email. So if you send me something, good idea to text me. So thank goodness you texted because it might not have still happened. So happy
Appreciate
for
you,
that.
woman.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you. Anybody else have anything before we get rolling here? Janelle, you're here. Yay.
Hello.
Janelle got a new RV, and since then I have not seen her face hardly at all. She's having the time of her life. Happy for that. It's funny. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is your chance. There is an event, and while our speaker talks today, I will find how I can connect this to the thread here, but there's an event on Thursday that I think is worthy of attendance. Let me see if I can find it really fast so I can read it to you, at least tell you about it. It's how to stay. Ooh. Come on, light up. It's taking forever. How to stay hot in a cool market. And it's put on by Homeowners Financial Group and Navi Title. But it's put on really by Bill Rogers, who is the CEO of Homeowners Financial Group. And if you don't know him, he's a pretty spectacular guy, great mind, good good instincts. And when he puts on some sort of an event, it's generally pretty solid. So I will put the invite in there for you guys. It's this Thursday from 3 to 5. Yeah, 3 to 5. So I'll throw it in the chat during this time together. So just watch for that. If you want to go, certainly you can RSVP. There's still time and room for you to go. I plan to go. I need to verify my schedule and make sure I didn't do something silly, but I think it's going to be a really good event for people. And so if you're looking for just a way to connect and then to learn, so there's 3 really good speakers. Brian North is one of them. Andrew Beardsley is one. And Allie, can't remember her last name. Allie Gelker. I didn't say it right. Anyway, so just thought you guys might want to know about it. So I'll throw it in the chat for us, okay? I think that's my only announcement. Andrea, do you have anything that you want to share today? Getting there close. There we go.
Can't get to the mute button. So I just wanted to let you guys know that we have something really exciting coming out live tomorrow from Tom Ferry in the summit that he's having. It is a new tool that will be rolling out soon. It's called Live in Here. This is going to be a great application for you and your homeowners to have like a hub where they can input all their information on their property. As far as like maintenance and repairs and things like that, you'll be able to put on there any recommendations that you have as well and connect with your customers in another way. So more to come on that. So very exciting.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you. Ty Lusk, I see that hand.
We have a few events coming up here to let everybody know. What's up, bud? This week on tomorrow, actually at 1 to 3, we have the interrogation of Kenny Klaus put on by Templeton Walker and Brett Johnson. That's going to be in Gilbert at a place called The Kiln, which is basically in Santan Village. And then we're doing a real attraction happy hour from 4 to 6 at the Hub Grill and Bar on Stapley and Baseline. So anyone's welcome. Anybody who's considering real, this will be the first of a recurring attraction event we'll be having in the East Valley coming up. So tomorrow 1 to 3 is kind of an all-star panel, Ask Kenny Anything, led by Templeton and Brett, and then the happy hour follows at 4. And then we have 2 groups remaining to fill for the Real Invitational Golf Tournament.
What?
September the 12th in Prescott, Arizona at the Prescott Golf Club. So we've got 8 foursomes already booked, paid. We have up to 10 groups. So we have 2 more groups remaining. It is on Friday, September 12th at noon, $100 a player. You can play by yourself or get a group. And it's our 3rd annual, and we are doing this up there on a Friday afternoon. And a lot of us will get a room and stay. We have a big dinner at the Palace on Whiskey Row that night, and then we'll go out for live entertainment. So we've got 8 more spots of golfers basically available for September 12th. I'll put the Eventbrite in the chat for anybody who wants to sign up for that or knows somebody who might want to join us. So we have 8 more player spots open for that event before it's sold out.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That sounds fun. I'm out of town on the 12th, but that sounds fun. I'm generally asked not to come back to golf courses because I hit the ball, take my shoes off, run through the grass, and then hit the ball again. And I take a long time, and I'm barefoot. And what's the guy that cut Marshall? I know a few marshals who've asked me to please not return. And so there's a few things in my life I'm not allowed to do anymore. And that's apparently one of them. So anyway, I wish all the rest of you a very, very low score. So I've never played a game to get the least amount of points. That seems so wrong. So anyway, I digress. Okay, let's just jump because we are so lucky this morning to have my really good friend Tony Caliendo here with us today. Tony and I have known each other for a long time, and every time I have a conversation with him, bar none, even if it's just a passing casual conversation or a quick phone call or a text conversation, there is always something good that comes out of it. Most of the time, it's something that I learned that I go, oh, yeah, I didn't think of it like that. And weirdly, he has a coaching platform called Rethink that he's changing. It's a name for it, but I still love Rethink. So I'm just going to own that for a while because it is a way to rethink, to change your thinking. So, if you know me at all, you know how much I love the brain and how much I'm just so encouraged by all the things the brain can do and how we think and changing our behavior and all of that. So I don't want to get into a whole gig, but Tony is a national coach. He has coached large teams and large single producing agents and people outside the real estate business part of the world in other industries. And I'm just so excited to spend this morning with you. Thank you for hanging out with us. You guys, this is my friend, Tony Caliendo.
Kimberly, I need to just take you around with me everywhere I go and let you do that. That would be wonderful.
I'm in.
Seriously, thank you so much. I really enjoy being part of your group. And just one, thanks for your time. I always say this, I have a podcast, and I always open by saying this, that time really is our most valuable asset. And the fact that you're willing to invest your time with me truly does mean a great deal. So that goes without saying for today and anytime we get a chance to be together. And I want to talk today about something that I've noticed. As Kimberly said, I coach across the country and teams and individuals and all kinds of fun stuff. And I just have noticed that we've experienced a bit of erosion of certainty in our world and in our business, in our lives, and a lot that we experience. I don't know, is anybody else feeling that in here other than me, that all this stuff going on creates sometimes a bit of doubt or lack of certainty? Anybody else feeling it?
All the time.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to divert from what I was going to say. I love interaction. And so you don't have to be polite. You don't have to raise your hand. You don't have to stay on mute. You can put your camera on if you can and just jump in and join in the conversation. So, all right, now back to what we're talking about. I'm going to share a screen real quick, Kimberly.
Yeah, you're good to go.
I just, team, certainty is really important because it can help you with listings, buyers, and what I think is most important is that we don't lose the element of fun in what we're doing for a living. And so we're going to work on creating what certainty can look like for you and then talking about what certainty would look like with your clients. So this is who I am. You guys, that's my contact information. I will gladly put it in the chat. If you ever need anything, just reach out to me directly. That's my cell phone. That's my email. I answer email. I answer cell phone. And if you ever want to book a 1-hour strategy call with me, that's
as opposed
free.
to me.
Yeah, as opposed to Kimberly. Always feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to give an hour of my time to help you with this or anything else you got going on. So that is me, and I will answer. So first, I just want to embrace, 2025 has been what I've been labeling a funky year. That's probably the best word I could come up with it. And it's one of those years. I've sold real estate since 2001. And I've noticed that this year seems to be a bit different. So questions for you to think about as we move forward through this conversation. Are you pacing to hit your year-end goal? Are you on track? Do you know your numbers? That's number one. Do you feel the need right now that you've got to work harder to get the same? So do more to get the same. So we got to do more than we did last year just to get the same. Are you seeing more transactions fall out? I think nationwide, the average is 20% of transactions are terminating right now. Some of it's happening because of inspection. I think some of it is happening because buyers have choices that they haven't had for a while. Get under contract at the house, something else comes on. There's a lot of different things that are happening, but we're seeing nationally about 20% of transactions that go into escrow fall out of escrow. Some of it is inspection, and I want you to think about this. During our COVID craziness, a lot of people were buying houses and waiving what? What were they waiving during that time?
Everything.
Everything, including inspections.
Inspections, yeah.
So some of those homes are coming back on the market and they haven't been inspected for over a decade, depending on when the previous homeowner had it. So just a little tip on this part. I'm not a fan of it usually, but I am a fan of it now. Pre-listing inspections are really important because buyers are backing out due to things that they find on inspection. I always say for this, you need to be HGTV ready, and that includes no repairs for the buyer. And what I believe to be true is if you do that and a buyer has multiple choices of homes, they may feel more comfortable moving forward with your listing because they know it's already been inspected and it's in good shape, where the competition maybe is not, and they don't know what they're gonna find. So transactions are terminating. So pay attention to that during repairs. If you're a listing agent, I would encourage pre-listing inspection. And anybody feeling a little bit more stressed or concerned about how the rest of the year is going to unfold? Maybe a smidge. I ask that question and I giggle because I think we all are. There's been a lot of external variables that really have contributed to our lack of certainty, right? Interest rates, stock market, economic indicators, job stability. If anybody has high government in their SOI, in their database, we're starting to experience some challenges with jobs in that arena. Consumer confidence, which always leads us in and out of shifting markets. So that's a definite external circumstance for us. This is definitely a skill-based market. I know you've heard that before, but this is it. You're in it. I love these markets because we learn so much. We have to work smarter to get results and just know that all the leads are out there. We just have to work to find them and convert them in a different way. And we're going to do that through creating certainty for you and for your client. This is really interesting. These are things that could impact your certainty. Social media, news feeds, notifications, general chatter. Anybody else see stuff on social that they might be comparing or judging themselves against somebody else, or thinking, I'm not as good as that person, or I'm not as good as they are? Social media has been a big impact on our certainty. News feeds, notifications, and chatter. Old statistic shows we have 60,000 thoughts a day. The new stats are showing 70 to 90,000 thoughts a day. And that's just because we're constantly being bathed in notifications and all of the stuff that we get on the regular through our phones, through our laptops, through our iPads. We're constantly being bombarded with stuff. And just know that out of those thoughts, 80% are negative. So this could be causing some of our uncertainty. And this is what I love about this. We have control over this. We have 100% control over these things. Limiting time on social, limiting exposure to news, turning off notifications so you're not interrupted. Chatter. Pay attention to who you're hanging around with. When I
Hey,
know,
Tony.
yeah,
Sorry, I just did the fast math because I'm a weirdo. But when you said 70 to 90,000 thoughts a day, 20% of them you said are negative, right?
80.
80%. That means, thank you, I did the math the other way. That means only 14,000 of those thoughts are positive or neutral.
Correct.
And if you think about that, I mean, that's just using the number of 70,000. I didn't do 90. I don't want to know that number. But that's a lot of thoughts, right?
It's
That
a lot of
we are
thoughts.
battling in our head every day. All this self-doubt, all these things that creep in that tell us that we're not good enough. You know, that's a lot. It's a lot of thoughts.
It's a lot. And it's, when I first heard that, Kimberly, I was like, I'm not that smart to have 60,000 thoughts a day. There's no way I'm having that many thoughts a day. And so we just sat in silence for 30 seconds. And during that time, you're constantly having thoughts. It's that unconscious flow that you have. That's where the majority of our thoughts are coming from. And this is just, you guys, just an extra on this because I think it's important, Kimberly, especially since you touched on it, is there's a part of our brain, there's a few sections of our brain, but there's one part of it that still lives in the primitive place that we used to be in. Like you leave the cave to get food and you'll get killed. And the brain views leaving the cave to get killed as dangerous as picking up the phone to call somebody you haven't spoke to in a while.
Right.
And so it's going to produce a negative thought to keep you from taking action because it thinks it's protecting you. And so that's why we have a lot of the negative thoughts that we have, because the brain is in overdrive wanting to protect you and it thinks it's doing a bang up job. And what it is, because it's keeping you from taking action. So when we create certainty, what I know to be true, I can't change the percentage, right?
Right.
I don't know of a way that we could change that, but I do know we get to choose where we spend the majority of our time. So we can become intentional about spending our time in the 20% versus the 80 that we do have control over.
Right.
So when your brain's doing that to you, just be like, hey, thanks, don't need it right now, appreciate it, but I'm not in risk of getting killed by picking up the phone and calling somebody from my database. Next, and you move on. And that
Right.
moves you into that better space. This goes in line with that, Kimberly. There's a silent director of your life in business. That's the unconscious mind. And part of what happens, there's 4 elements that are basic to how we function in life in business, most of the time happening on an unconscious level. And those are our 4 basic human needs. I'm only going to talk about one today because I think it's right now the most important. So we have some basic human needs. We like certainty, right? We like to know that we're in a good place. We like to know that we're safe, right? That's our certainty spot. Variety, we like stimulus and change of environment. Now, if you're like me, you're questioning going, how can I like certainty so much but want variety? Variety is a choice. We choose new stimuli. We choose to do new things. Certainty, as we saw earlier, is impacted by a lot of external factors. So it can be influenced more than variety by external and other people. Significance, we all like to feel special, unique, and important. And then connection and love. I think this is a great example of that, Kimberly. What you've created at Lions and Legends is a place to feel significant, and it's a place to feel connected and love. Super important. Now, here's what I also know to be true. Ty doesn't wake up in the morning. I don't think Ty, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't wake up in the morning and say, today I'm going to go find certainty. We don't do it on a conscious level, but guess what is doing it? Your unconscious mind is like, Ty, go find some certainty. I'm feeling really off today. And until I do, your day's going to feel off. We're going to be totally out of kilter, totally out of whack, because it's constantly looking for these 4 things, but we're just going to focus on the one. Now, when you're uncertain, this is why it's important for us to figure this out for you. It impacts your clients that you are working with. Less listing, less buyers. We attract listings that don't sell. We come across a lot of buyers who are staying on the sideline. We might get fired by clients. That's happening a little bit more and more right now because of some unrealistic situations. I think the worst thing that can happen is the client takes control of the transaction. If you're uncertain and you've got a strong client, they're going to take over and you've lost control of the whole situation. So this is important that we get your certainty there so you stay in control, and then we know transactions are terminating. This is the impact. You also might feel uneasy, stressed, worried, or lack of confidence. So I know every time when I was selling, Kimberly, and we moved into a shifting market. So the very first time it happened to me was 9/11. I got my license March 1st or March 9th. Hallelujah. It was all amazing. Summer was great. Then we had the horrible events happen in 9/11, and we had the shift in the market, and all of these things happened, but I lost my confidence. I was like,
Yeah.
I might not ever be able to sell another house again or a buyer again because I don't know how to overcome what's happening. I was lacking certainty in what to do. And I think we're in that phase right now where I say real estate in 2025 has been like playing a game of whack-a-mole at the carnival. Something new is popping up every time that we're not sure of, and we're having to process it as quickly as we can. So
And there's
anybody
so
else?
much that's out
Yeah,
of our control,
so much of it is.
and we're not used to that in a different market where it's not necessarily skills based. I think we're fooled into thinking that we are operating in a lot more control in those markets than we actually are, because the business is easier. It's flowing to us, then we don't have as many obstacles. But as soon as we start getting obstacles in the way, and it's a tough market, and we don't have the skills, now, like to your point, it is eroding our confidence. But it's because we start to feel, in my opinion, we start to feel really powerless. We didn't actually shift any power. It's just the perception of that, right? Because it's more difficult and we don't maybe have the skills that we need. So I think that eroding of your confidence that's a nasty little spiral to dig into. It's
It
hard to
is.
dig out of that.
Tony,
It
how
is.
do you feel like I mean, if we can, the things we can't control to bring certainly like a morning routine or what we're reading or like what we do every day, on our team, we like just detach from the outcome, right? Just forget about your expectations of what your effort is supposed to create, but focus on what you can do. And so it's everyday consistency. And then the time frame may not be with us, the time frame is going to be on the client's time frame. But how do you think that relates, finding certainty in habits or rituals that we have in our life or business?
That's a great question. And Ty, part of certainty is knowing what's coming next, right? And so would you create really powerful habits? Your brain has the GPS of what we're going to do today. If I know at 9 o'clock, I'm doing lead generation. If I know at 1 o'clock, I'm doing this. I know at 5 a.m., I'm doing my yoga, whatever it is. That consistency and that commitment builds your certainty. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if we can build our certainty in that area, it will spill over to other areas. But yeah, your brain's funny. Like if you don't give it direction, it's like a 3-year-old running around with a knife. I mean, it's just crazy out of control. And once you give it some direction, and time blocking is a great way to give direction and consistency in behavior, it starts to calm down and goes, okay, cool. I know what I'm supposed to do today. And Ty's kind of laid out the path for me. That's what I'm going to focus on versus running chaos to figure out different things to do to occupy itself, because it will find something to do with or without you.
Yep.
So great question. Kimberly, were you going to say something?
No,
You sure?
it's super good. Yep.
Yeah. So I always laugh. I think of my brain as a really obnoxious 3-year-old. And I have to control it or it will control me or make me go crazy. That's just part of what happens. And so time management is a big part of certainty. So certainty for us, really, it's just your mind's need for stability, predictability, assurance, right? It wants to know that we can avoid pain. This is really important because we move away from pain. As humans, we don't go running toward pain, right? That's sometimes how we'll get a client to do something, is showcase what pain they'll experience if they don't make a decision. But for certainty, we want to move away from it. We want to know that we can avoid it, that we can be comfortable and safe. And the most important part, when you're certain, it gives you the foundation to take action with confidence. And this is what I know to be true, team, because I've coached a lot of real estate agents and I'm a driver myself. I will do stuff when I don't feel certain about it just because it's on my calendar and I said I was going to do it. I also know when I do it, when I'm lacking confidence, the results are about a fourth of what they could be if I would have just paused and worked on my certainty and confidence. Anybody else experience that? You just do it because we're drivers. Dang it, I'm doing it. And we do it and we flub up and we don't get a result and we feel like nobody's hearing us. This is how certainty can change it. So you actually get better results by doing the same thing. This is really important. Earlier I said we were kind of feeling like we're in a space of having to do more to get the same. When you build certainty and you go back to doing what you've been doing, your results will increase. They just will. So this isn't about, hey, Andre, you've got to go do more. Or Janelle, you got to go, instead of 10 conversations a day, you better do 30. No, get your certainty in order and you'll see the results change. So this is really critical in how you can get more sellers, more buyers, and keep more transactions in escrow. Certainty is key. When we have it, we make better and bolder decisions. because we're going to trust the outcome. We reduce our stress and fear. That gives you so much more mental energy to do better things. And then we show up more powerfully in life, business, and relationships. I don't know about you, but right now, that's probably one of the most important things that I could do is to show up in a powerful way. Because guess who's uncertain right now other than us? Besides everybody, our potential clients, our potential buyers, potential sellers, potential investors are all feeling this. But if you show up powerful, what I know to be true is if I went on a listing appointment against Kimberly and against Ty, and they've got a killer listing presentation, killer, like it smokes my listing presentation. Yet I go into the listing presentation with high certainty, high confidence, and they don't. The receiver, the potential client, is going to say, I know Tony didn't talk about this, but for some reason, I feel compelled to want to work with him. I don't know what it is. And they will move over because people crave certainty and confidence. And if you can portray that or exude it, people will want to be in your presence more often. And you will find people will be attracted to you and they'll actually do something. It's one of the biggest gifts you can give to people is to let them borrow your confidence, let them borrow your certainty. It's a big deal right now.
You know what, Tony? It's interesting that you say this. I've been having this conversation a lot lately, and I feel like it is because there is so much uncertainty. People are looking for leadership, and in the
Yes.
absence of actually getting leadership, they're listening. I mean, they're following anything that they hear. It's the 3-year-old with the knife, right?
Yep.
They're all over the place because they're strongly lacking and strongly desiring certainty and leadership and that confidence that goes with it. Because so many, I mean, we hear the phrase consumer confidence, right? What is consumer confidence? How is that displayed? It's displayed by how we spend our money. Well, we used to have a lot of excess money. Now we can barely buy groceries and gas, right? Because things are out of control for a lot of people. And so that's a lack of consumer confidence. When the economy changes and there's more free flowing cash flow, people spend more. That's an indicator. Their behavior is an indicator of their confidence level. And if you just from an economic place, think of it along those lines and realize that when you go into a client conversation, they're literally asking you, what do you think we should do? And if you come in and you say things like, gosh, well, I don't know what you want to do, but here's kind of what I'm thinking about. That's a totally, you didn't do it for him. You haven't nailed it for him. You need to come in and say, hey, listen, here's the stats. Here's what the market says. If your desire is to go from here to here, this is the plan to do it. This is the strategy. But if you're wishy-washy because you're trying to, I don't know, maybe you're trying to build rapport, so you're trying to just hang with your bros on stuff like this. Like that's not what people need. They're looking for leadership. And you can go anywhere. It's not even just our industry. It's humanity is looking for leadership, right? In things around what impacts them. So when we put this in our own space for dealing with buyers and sellers, they need someone who's confident. They need someone who says, hey, I know what I'm doing. And I'm not being an arrogant jerk. I'm not like, oh, I know everything and you're just a peasant. You don't know anything. That's not it. But you say, hey, listen, if what you're looking for is like a direction and a plan, here's what I've laid out for you. Here's my years of experience. I've been through market cycles before. I've seen this. I understand it. I'm not afraid of it. And if I'm not afraid of it, then this is how we can walk through it together. And you can just trust me. I'll hold your hand and I'll lead you through this. But if you come in and you don't have that kind of, I don't know, security or certainty in yourself and in your skills, goes back to a skills-based market. If you don't have that knowledge that you can actually lean and speak those things with authenticity, because people are going to know if you're just shining them on, right? If you don't have that, that's what you need to work on. And the only way you work on that is go over the market stats so that they sound like they just roll off your tongue like you've done it for 40 years, right? Like build your confidence by building your skills. And I think people are so hungry for leadership. I think agents are. I think bankers are. I think lenders are. I think buyers are. I think sellers are. Everybody wants to know, is now a good time to sell? Is now a good time to buy? Who has not heard that statement from both sides? I mean, that's every statement, every conversation. I'm trying to figure out if it's a good time to sell. Do you need to sell? Because it's a great time to sell if you need to sell. Do you need to buy? It's a great time to buy if you need to buy. Right? Like, let's get down to their actual needs, but lead them in confidence in that certainty. And I think that's, we use all these different words for it, but it is certainty. I think you have zeroed and focused in on this so beautifully, because if I have certainty about something, I automatically have confidence about it. Even if I'm certainly wrong, I can have full confidence in being completely wrong and walk it out like I'm right. You know what I mean? But I think we're just, in humanity, I think we're lacking leadership, and I think we're looking for leadership. And I think when you can walk into things like this with confidence, you're providing that and you're meeting a basic human need of your client.
100%. And it is very true right now. People are looking for leadership. They just are. We are a little lost right now in a lot of ways. And we just crave to be in the presence of somebody that we feel like, I don't have to think about it. Kimberly's got it. I just can take her lead. She knows what she's doing, and I feel really good about what's about to happen next. So it's huge. And, think about it, team. Like, I've been put in situations before where I've had to do something that maybe I wasn't quite ready for. But I took a moment to just be like, dang it, I know what I'm doing. There's really not a question I can't freaking answer. And you walk in head held high, shoulders back. You just walk in with a bit of a swagger that you know what you're doing. Everything you do, from your body language to your eye contact to the way you talk to, are you breathy? Do you seem scared? Whatever. All of that can be controlled when you are very confident and congruent with who you are and your skill set. And Kimberly, you said something really important. This is not the time to practice on your client.
Right.
If there's an area, and we're going to get to this in a minute, if there's an area that you're experiencing resistance, it's because you're not certain.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, in my head, play it out and then go try it out on a client.
Right.
Because it translates very differently from your conversation with yourself in your head to a conversation with another human being. So this is the time to really work on the skill set so you can be more powerful.
Yep.
You can reduce your stress and fear. I joke around and say, clients can tell when we got commission breath, when we're desperate for the sale. They can also smell when you're stressed and fearful. They just can feel it. And so shaking that off and changing that mental energy is huge. It's just huge.
And this screen, I think, is really powerful too, because this is when we have certainty, this is what we do, but this is also what we can, to your point of borrowing confidence or lending confidence. These 3 bullet points right here, these are the things that you're giving to your client, right? You're giving them permission to make a bolder decision. You're giving them permission to let go of the stress and fear. You're giving them permission to make a powerful decision. And if you look at it from, okay, now that I have confidence, I have something I can give away, right? If I have certainty, now I can provide certainty and share that. And so I think this slide is really a great little snapshot, honestly, of like the gift that you can give by having these things.
100%. I know right now, team, the big topic that comes up is pricing if you're going on a listing appointment. And when we walk in with certainty, we walk in with confidence, and then we can create that for the other person. You're more likely to price appropriately than to let them talk you into pricing above the market.
Yep.
And then only being annoyed with you when it doesn't sell, right? And so this is exactly this, Kimberly. Like when we have certainty, we make bolder decisions. When they have certainty, they make a bolder decision.
Yep.
Gosh, I thought my house was worth $850, but based upon what you told me, I get it. I see it's only $799. Let's go with it. They're able to make, that is a bold decision.
Yep.
For them to come to an agreement of a price less than what they thought their house was worth. And we're experiencing that on about 90% of our listing appointments right now. Sellers are unaware that their values have changed. I don't really know of any market in the country that is not experiencing some form of price adjustment right now.
Sure.
price slippage. It can be as little as 1% or 2%, and it can be as much as 10. But this will help you get them to make the right decision with you. If you're, we hit on this, I want you to really take a minute because I'm going to ask you to do this. This is going to be the interactive part. So I just want to get your attention. If you're resisting implementing action, if you're hesitating doing something, if you're avoiding things that feel uncomfortable, or you see things as dangerous and risky, you're in a place of uncertainty. You just are. I have this conversation and I hear this a lot. Well, I know I'm supposed to call my folks from my sphere, but it was Monday, and Mondays just aren't great days to call. So I think I'm going to do it tomorrow because Monday's pretty busy and I don't want to bother people at work. And if I do it, I might piss them off and then I might lose them completely. So it's kind of dangerous and risky to my business if I do that. And I don't really know what I'm going to say. So I'm going to hold off till tomorrow. That's uncertainty. And I know we've all had that conversation with ourselves because as a coach, building a coaching business, I do the same thing. I lead generate every day. And I have those conversations with myself. And the second I start to realize I'm resisting or hesitating, I realize I need to park for a second and reclaim my certainty because that will change everything. It will get me to move forward. That is the sign you're uncertain about something in the process that you need to do. So I want to just take a minute here. This is where you can all come off mute and share with me what in your business right now have you been postponing or avoiding that if you did on the consistent basis would make a difference? What is it?
Telephone calls to
Yep.
my sphere. I have no problem emailing. I have no problem texting. But for some reason, I have been avoiding calling.
You are in great company.
Completely agree. There's 20 to 30 more deals right in this phone right now. And why
Absolutely.
don't we do that? What is it about the human brain that talks yourself out of things? Like you're saying, it's like you're diabetic and there's a big piece of chocolate cake in front of you. And you know you shouldn't do that, but your brain goes, well, I'll start a diet tomorrow. I'll do better tomorrow, right? And so forth and so on. What is it about not being able to control that? It's same with call reluctance,
It is.
Well, Tony, I felt like you were like just scripting what you said right out of my brain. It's Monday. People are at work. If I piss them off, then they won't want to work with me. Like, get out of my head. What?
I've been following you around, Cindy, and like I said, you're in great company. It's that part of the brain that's, again, trying to protect you, that primitive part that still lives within, that will always be with us. And it's doing a bang up job when it tells you that.
It really is, because that's my reasoning, like 99.8% of the time, for sending a text instead of calling. What if they're at work? They're not going to answer if they're at work, so I'm going to end up
Right.
leaving a voicemail anyways. Like, that's that conversation. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And so
Self-destructive.
right. So we're kind of focusing on the what if bad side. What if they answered the phone?
Then I have to speak. Oh my gosh.
I know. What if they said, Cindy, we're talking about you the other night. We're thinking about selling our house. What if they knew somebody at their work, church, social group, whatever it is, that was thinking about selling or buying? What if? That's the part that we want to focus on. What if I'm bothering them? What if I piss them off? What if they think I'm a salesperson? Heaven forbid.
my
They're in
gosh.
sales.
Thinking the positive. Kimberly, who was it that was speaking that talked about the CTFAR? Everything I think creates my reality. Do you remember?
That would be Reagan.
Yeah.
Who taught on
Okay,
that.
rethink. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
have that on my whiteboard still. And so, yeah, for you to say that, and I turn around, look at my whiteboard, and I'm like, yeah, yep.
Yep,
So
that's
you
me.
know what's weird about this to me, and I'm because you guys were brave enough to talk, I'm going to call you both out on it. I know both Bud and Cindy very well, and I'm telling you, if you see them in a crowd, they talk to anybody and everybody. If you go to the grocery store with them, they're talking to they have no compunction to hold back when
That's
they're
true.
face to face. It's this stupid device
Yes.
does something. And if you look at the word device, it's divisive.
You're such a
Yeah.
brainiac.
I know
love
it's
you.
weirdo. And here's where my, neuro gum is kicking in maybe, but I'm just
True.
saying that I know the two of you, like I have been in places where you are, neither of you knows a stranger, and more likely you're bound to interject yourself into things you have no business interjecting yourself. Like you have no fear talking to people in person.
True.
So it cracks me up that two people who will talk to anybody and everything at any given time get caught in this thing.
Get caught in a loop.
And
This
you're in a
is-
loop. And there you go, Tony.
Yeah.
Go
You're
for
in
it.
a loop. So
Kimberly, I smell a challenge coming on.
I
Am
feel
wrong?
it. I feel it happening. Okay, so Bud and Cindy and everybody else, I want you to think about this, right? That thought you're having, that thought loop that your brain is delivering that keeps you from taking action, right? Thoughts drive all results, period.
Period.
So 4 questions to ask yourself. So think about this. We talked about 60,000 thoughts, 80% are negative. What we didn't tell you is 95% are repetitive.
Right.
So Cindy, you've had that thought over and 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 over. 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. So here's what I would say to ask yourself these 4 things. Number 1, is the thought true or is it just familiar? Because if we're running a loop over and over and over, it's what?
Familiar.
It's familiar, team. It's not true. You're not going to annoy somebody. You're not going to cause somebody to hate you. You're not going to cause somebody to never do business with you because you called them. You're not. The thought's not true. It's familiar. The second thing is to identify what the loop is. So in this instant, I'd be like, oh, wow, that's my fear loop. There it is, wreaking havoc. It's the 3-year-old with the knife that has fear written on it, running around. That's my fear loop. That's my primitive brain's way of creating fear so I don't take action and fail. That's my fear loop. Okay. The third thing is to say, hey, fear loop, thanks for trying to protect me, but the thought's not true. I don't need you right now. I don't need you to protect me. There's nothing to protect me from because that thought is not true.
Get behind me, Satan.
Then your fourth thing to do is what's the new thought? If it's not true and I'm not in fear anymore, what's my new thought?
Is
Could be
this
as simple
anything
as
like having a song stuck in your head? Ty, maybe you can relate to that, but that happens to me all the time. It's like
running a loop.
over and over and
Yeah.
over. And then I'll
Yeah.
play the song, and even then, usually it stays in my head. Is it
Yeah. I mean,
a matter of just
it's-
retraining your thoughts? Or?
it is. You get team, it's just a loop. It's your brain going, oh, there's Cindy. She's going to pick up the phone and call a database. I better create some real fear in her life so she doesn't do it. Hey, Cindy, you're going to mess up when you do that. They're going to hate you. They're going to view you as a salesperson. You're going to annoy them. It's way of telling you to not do it because what if somebody doesn't want to talk to you? Your brain views it as you're out of the cave, going to get killed. So it's creating this loop over and over and over, and it's brilliant at doing it. It's brilliant at doing it. And we've lived our whole life with these loops running. And so it's my fear loop, it's my anger loop, it's my anxiety loop, it's my oh heck loop. It's whatever loop you want to call it. You just need to identify what it is because once you give it a name, you've taken the power back.
Right.
You've taken the power back.
How much do you think, if we don't know what we're calling about, do you think the fear is calling or calling with the BS reason? Like I train our people, look, I'm calling because We're having an event. We
Yes.
want to invite you. I'm
Yep.
calling because great news. Rates have started to come down in the last week. I'm calling because we have an unbelievable opportunity with a home that came across that could be a great investment. Like, how much do you think is just like literally the fear of dialing the number of them answering versus the fear of us not having anything relevant to talk about?
Ty, you're right on point. You know, once we eliminate the thought and reframe the thought, you know, people are willing to talk to me. People are excited to hear from me. Now I can formulate, what am I going to say? What's today's script? What am I going to talk about? What item of value am I bringing? What am I doing today? Because that gives your brain one more level of certainty. I'm not just going to call and be like, oh, what am I going to say? I'm going to give myself that next level of certainty. But first, I got to control the thought and say, okay, it's a fear loop. I don't need it. The real thought is people will talk to me. People like me. I don't have any issues talking to people. Now, take it to the next step. And that's what's next is, how do we create certainty for ourselves? Know what to say. That's a big part of it. Kimberly hit on this earlier. I cannot stress this enough, and I'm just frazzled by the lack of agents who do this. You should be a student of the market. You should be studying MLS every flipping day, because you should know what is going to happen next before it shows up in MLS. If I go on a listing appointment, I'm like, hey, Kimberly, here's what I know because I study the market. Over the last 90 days, we've seen prices slip by X%. We've seen, you know, we talk about the stats. This is what we know is happening. My job is to position your house to sell next for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time possible. Are you okay with that? Great. Based upon what I have seen, we're going to be on the market a moment, but we want to price it as if it's 30 days from now. If we do that, you're likely going to be the next house to sell. Are you okay with that? I'm asking that because I want them to say yes. I want them to say yes as many times. If I only look at MLS to run comps or to see what's available for a buyer, I am abusing one of the best tools that we have as real estate agents.
Yeah.
MLS, study the market. You should know it. It's also one of my favorite scripts if I'm on a listing appointment and I know that they're interviewing other agents. I would say, hey, Kimberly, do me a favor. I know you're interviewing a couple other agents today. Knowing the market is really, really important. Do me a favor, and during the appointment, I want you to ask them about market stats and have them tell you what's happened over the last 30, 60, 90 days. If they can't do that, they're not aware of the true market, and they're putting your largest asset at risk. Who do you think they're going to call to list their house? You. I've won more multiples in this situation because I've used that script. So, student of the market is a way that you can build your certainty. Ty, we talked about this earlier, calendar and time blocking, like giving your brain the knowledge and knowing where we're headed. If you notice, I have beliefs before affirmations. I do that on purpose. You got to get your belief in alignment before an affirmation will work. If I don't believe and I said an affirmation, your little brain's going to be like, hey, Cindy, that's real cute. I love your cute little affirmation, but it's not going to happen. It's just not. And you can affirm your way into a hole. You got to get your beliefs in alignment, and your beliefs are really just a thought. So go back to the 4 questions. Is the thought true or is it familiar? What's the loop? Dismiss the loop. What's the real thought? Once you do that, your thought is a belief. You change that, now the affirmation is going to work. People will answer my call. Whatever the affirmation is will work if you clean up the thought and the belief. If you don't, the affirmation is not going to work. I promise you, because your brain is smarter than the affirmation. The last thing, team, is who you spend time with. I'd like to do a little exercise and have clients write down who are the 5 people they spend the most amount of time with. So we write it down and we come up, so let's say it's Kimberly is one of the people that I spend a great deal of time with. And then I say, all right, now on a scale of 0 to 10, I want to test where Kimberly is with her financials. Like, how's Kim showing up in life in a financial way, right? How is she showing up in her life? Is she showing up big in life? Is she playing small? Is she playing big? I start to rate them on these things and get an overall rating. If Kimberly's not at 8, 9, or 10, Kimberly's coming out of my top 5.
Yeah.
Now, I might, before I dismiss her, I might say, hey, Kimberly, and I'll send this to you, Kim, if you want to share this with everybody, the little
Okay.
chart that I use to do the exercise on. It's a real awareness of who you're spending time with, because that is who you become. You become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. We've heard that over and over and over and over. And it's true. You want to build your certainty? Hang around people that are certain.
Yep.
Because it's like walking into a room that the thermostat is set on 65 and I'm cold. Is the room going to adjust to me, or do I adjust to the room?
Yep.
I have to adjust to the room. If I'm hanging out with people that are lacking certainty, are negative, are constantly gossiping, whatever, they're not my people. I will tell you, I make a quick decision if I want to hang out with you based on one thing. Are you talking about the past, or are you talking about the future? Are you gossiping about somebody, or are you talking about a great vacation you're getting ready to take? If you're living in a space of talking about the future, this project, this potential listing, this whatever, I'm in. You're in my group. If you're talking about, oh my gosh, the market and this happened, and then Kimberly said this, and you're not my person. If I want to be in a space of certainty, I have to be around other people who are certain. That's just how it goes. So pay attention to who you're spending time with. That impacts your certainty. If it's your spouse, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. But I have had the conversation with people. Hey, Kimberly, I really enjoy being around you. And I've made a decision that I only want to be around people who are really certain about what they're doing and are forward focused, talking about great things that are coming up. I'm going to be honest. We tend to get at a spot when we're talking about the past and all the negative stuff. I don't want to do that anymore. And I really value you. I want you to stay in my top 5. Can you commit to doing that? Hopefully she says yes. And then I pay attention to what she does. And if she doesn't do that, she's out. I move her from my front row to somewhere else in the theater. She's lost her spot in the front row. I only want people in my front row who are also certain.
Well, and can I say something about that too? Because I think when I think about that conversation, nobody signs up for difficult conversations on purpose, right? Like sometimes I think we're just like, well, I'll just fade to black. So Tony, I don't see as much of Tony anymore. But there is something about being decisive in your own mind and being purposeful about it that's super healthy for you, right? To look and say, gosh, I made a definitive choice. And the flip side of that, for the person receiving it, if you handle the conversation following Tony's example of the script, you're putting somebody on notice. And maybe that's what they need to get thumped upside the head a little bit and go, gosh, I didn't even realize I've fallen into this spiral of negativity, or I have all of these other behaviors. Maybe it's indicative of something else, right? But I think sometimes the best gift we can give to people is the hard conversation. And sometimes that puts me right back in Tony's top 5 because I got, slapped upside the head and I needed it from a place of love, right? Hey, like, you're really important to me, but there's this thing going on and I can't have it in my life right now. So I want you to know I care about you, but that thing has to stop because it's causing me to go down that road. And I don't have enough self-control not to do that. So I need you to be better so I can be better. That's a great conversation to have with somebody that you actually care about and love, right? It helps them. If they can't accept it or they're not in a good place in their life, it's not like they won't remember that conversation later when they are in a good place.
Yeah, I think we do owe it to people, right? If you've been in my world for a while, I don't want to fade to black. I don't. I want to give you the opportunity. So really focused on the people that you spend the most amount of time with, that they're the people that will lift you. They're the people, because You get in a group of people and you're vibrating at a really high level and they're not, they will pull you down. You are not going to pull them up. You're not.
Right.
You're not. It's not how
Crabs
it
in a
works.
bucket.
It
Guys,
will pull you down.
one of my favorite quotes is small minds talk about people, mediocre minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas.
Yep.
And I can relate to that so much. When I'm in a conversation and people start gossiping, I'm like, nice seeing you guys. I got to go over here, whatever, you know.
Yes. It really doesn't serve you. I can tell in 5 minutes when I'm at a dinner party or I'm being introduced to new people where they're going to fall in my world
Yeah.
based upon what they're talking about.
Yeah,
Future based, you're my person.
right.
Past, I don't want to have you in my world. So this is, you guys want to say this in honor of time. This is what you need to work on. You need to sit with, what am I resisting? What am I postponing? What am I feeling uncomfortable about? And then address those things and say, okay, how do I create certainty around it? I need to study the market more. I need to role play more. I need to have what Ty said. I need to have five different choices of conversation to have with somebody at the ready at any given time based upon how the conversation starts. Or I'm going to go into this conversation with this for everybody today. Whatever it is, when you take the time to just sit with the things you're resisting, avoiding, think are risky or dangerous, figure what the heck you need to do to build certainty in that area, and you will do it and you will get results. That's a guarantee. Conversely, then, we want to do this with our clients. So buyer consultation, listing consultation, I prefer to call them strategy sessions, but do what you want. If I'm having a seller strategy session with Kimberly, I'm going to ask her, is there anything that's making you uncomfortable or you feel uncertain about? Because if I can get her certain, she's going to make bigger, better, bolder decisions. She's going to take action. She's going to have a better energy about her. I'm going to love working with her because we can have the conversation about a price reduction or accepting a repair addendum or whatever it is. So this is a gift you can give. You show up, number one, you got to work on you first. Yet every conversation I would have with the potential client, that's one of the questions I ask now. What are you feeling uncertain about or uncomfortable about? I can change that. I got their business. Questions? I know we're over, but questions, comments, thoughts?
I think this was awesome, Tony. It's good for our brains to think and to consider how our brains think. And then to be able to recognize, like, hey, I'm sitting in a place of uncertainty in one area or 20 areas, honestly, right? And just having that awareness tells me, okay, I need to focus. I need to have a higher level of certainty and confidence in this particular area. And so figuring out what that looks like and putting some action behind it then starts to make that morph or metamorphosis happen that is going to yield us somebody who is more certain, who is more confident, who is more powerful, who is more capable, who is more thoughtful, who is, a bigger giver. And I just think for us in a time when everything feels like things are getting sucked away from us and I'm just barely surviving one thing to get to the next thing. I think this is just a really good reminder of the injection that we need to go back to some basic things about taking care of our mind space and knowing how to empty the trash. And so, man, I thank you for today. It was, if nobody else showed up, it was perfect for me today. Got my little juices flowing. So super appreciate you.
I appreciate you. And thank you guys for being here. So not only you team, if you lead a team, if you got littles in your life, if you got people that you influence, get certain with yourself first and then get them to a place of certainty. I've watched it change little kids' lives.
Yep.
From how they walk into a classroom or how they approach things, that you can make a difference. So this applies across the board. So thanks for letting me play. I appreciate it. And I am always available if anybody needs anything or clarity. And I'll send you the little exercise to score your people in your top 5 to see what we need to do.
We'll
Thanks,
post
Tony.
that
This was
in
awesome.
the Facebook page for Lions and Legends, you guys. So if you're not part of that, ask to join and we'll make sure you're in. But we'll get that posted in the next day or so.
Cindy, how many database calls are you going to make this week?
Well, let's see. Since I actually promised Andrew I was going to be doing 5 a day, I'm going to get back to doing the 5 a day.
Okay.
There
Love
you
it.
go. How many are you doing, bud?
I'm going to match that, Cindy.
Okay.
Awesome.
Rock and
Okay,
roll.
status report next Monday. Hey, by the
got
way,
it.
Ty, how many push-ups are you up to every morning?
50.
Oh my
Whoa,
God.
check him out. When did you start that?
Probably about 17, 18 months ago.
50 what?
Push-ups every morning.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
I went from 25, then I just sort of went, then I went 30, 35, 40 to 50.
Ty, let me see
One
it.
set of 50 or 2 of 25 or
Woo!
50 straight.
dude. Way to go, man.
That's awesome.
There it
Right, my
is.
friend.
Call me.
You have it. Started right here. Started
It
at
did.
Lions and Legends
It did.
Awesome.
So
over a
good.
year and a half ago.
Love
Have a
Call
it.
great
me,
week.
Andrea.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank
All
you
right,
guys.
guys.
I
Everybody.
appreciate
Have a
you
great
all.
week.
You're
We'll see you
awesome,
next
Tony.
Monday.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye, guys.